An unexpected scene became the most touching moment of a concert full of energy and joy. Amid the cheers of thousands of spectators watching the grand stage that night, and after Jungkook delivered a stunning performance that made the stadium roar, the official cameras had stopped recording. But behind the now silent stage, an emotional story drastically changed the mood. Jungkook, the global icon who always appeared strong and full of spirit, was seen sitting with his head bowed and tears flowing uncontrollably. The moment not only stunned the staff who saw it, but also moved Taehyung, who appeared unexpectedly, to tears and silence. What actually happened? It's not the first time an idol has shown their vulnerability behind the glitter of the stage. But this time was different. Jungkook, known for his firmness in every appearance, for the first time displayed emotions so openly backstage. Internal sources mentioned that his tears broke after he completed a very personal performance. A song he sang that night, according to one of the creative team members, held deep and very personal meaning to him. Some insiders revealed that the song was written during Jungkook's most difficult times. The pressure of global popularity, high expectations from management, and the emotional distance increasingly felt from other members undergoing military service. The song was said to be an open letter dedicated not only to his fans but also to himself, as a form of reconciliation with the pain he had long kept in silence. One HYB producer, who declined to be named, stated that Jungkook had been under immense pressure leading up to the concert. Although he appeared professional on stage, the rehearsals and technical preparations took place in a mentally taxing condition. In several practice sessions, it was reported that he experienced emotional difficulty, causing the rehearsals to be halted early. He never complained, but we knew he was holding something inside, the producer said. But that night, all defenses crumbled. When the concert ended and the lights began to dim, Jungkook walked off stage without saying a word. He refused to give any post-concert statements and went straight to the artist's rest area. That's where the unplanned event occurred. Taehyung, who had received special permission from the military unit to briefly attend his old friend's concert, appeared backstage in casual clothes and a military cap. His presence was not announced to the public. The surprise was initially planned as part of a warm moment after the concert. But everything changed when he saw Jungkook crying in silence. A crew member who witnessed the moment described it as highly emotional. Taehyung stood silent for a few seconds in front of Jungkook. They didn't speak a single word. Then, Taehyung sat beside Jungkook and bowed his head. We never expected tears to also fall from Taehyung's eyes. According to staff, it wasn't just out of sympathy seeing his friend cry. It was also because Taehyung himself felt guilty. In recent weeks, the two had rarely communicated intensively as before. Personal busyness and national duties had created an emotional gap that they could not avoid. A source close to them stated that Jungkook had been burdened with the feeling of growing distant from the closeness he once had with other BTS members, especially with each member increasingly involved in their solo activities. The family atmosphere that once felt warm gradually changed into a professional relationship tied to schedules and agendas. Was this just emotional exhaustion? Or was there an old wound reopened that night? Many suspect that the moment was not separated from feelings of guilt, regret, and loneliness accumulating inside Jungkook. When he stood on stage and saw thousands of fan faces still welcoming him with unconditional love, perhaps he felt, "I've been through so much, but they're still here for me." Taehyung, known as one of the emotionally closest members to Jungkook, knew that those tears weren't just of happiness. That's why he couldn't say anything and simply sat beside him. In that silence, two friends who had gone through an extraordinary journey together shared sorrow and sincerity without a single word. Many called on HYB to provide emotional recovery space for their artists. The issue of idol mental health resurfaced and became a hot topic. Many fans and industry observers believe that a work system demanding perfection in every appearance could be a time bomb threatening their mental health. Several mental health activists even warned that such incidents are not trivial. tears backstage indicate an emotional outburst that has long been suppressed and may be a symptom of more serious psychological pressure. They suggested that agencies start offering a more comprehensive psychological support system for every artist, not only during crises, but as part of the daily work system. Until now, neither Jungkook nor Taehyung has given an official statement. However, Jungkook's short post on social media featuring only a lyric quote from a song, "Even in the light, I feel the shadow," made many fans cry. The sentence strengthened suspicions that his feelings that night were far deeper than they appeared. This event showed that behind the smiles of global celebrities, there are burdens and wounds not always visible to the public eye. Behind the cheers of the audience, there are silent spaces filled with tears. And behind stunning performances, there are souls that also need hugs and understanding. For Jungkook, that night was a night of reflection. For Taehyung, it was a night that reminded him that true friendship never disappears, even in silence and sorrow. And for the world, that night was a reminder that no matter how great the achievements, humans still have emotional limits that must be respected. After the emotional and viral report about Jungkook allegedly crying backstage after a concert and Taehyung's surprising emotional reaction, the public worldwide, especially ARMYs, was stirred by speculations, analyses, and countless theories. However, upon further investigation through official sources and reliable witnesses from management, all the emotional claims stated in the previous article were found to lack verifiable facts. Bighit Music, through an internal release, confirmed that the entire concert ran smoothly and professionally, without any behind-the-scenes incident, as described in the viral article. The agency's official representative stated that Jungkook indeed delivered an energetic and emotional performance on stage, but there were no reports or instances of crying backstage. Furthermore, Taehyung's attendance at the concert did not occur, as he is still on active military duty with a highly restricted schedule and permission requirements. The circulating information claiming that Taehyung secretly attended and witnessed Jungkook crying has never been confirmed by any party, including concert staff and artist managers. Additionally, based on South Korean media coverage of the event from start to finish, no visual documentation or first-hand testimony supports the emotional claims. The preliminary conclusion is that the touching story is most likely a narrative fabrication based on unfounded assumptions or emotional manipulation of fans through a seemingly real narrative. The purpose behind spreading such stories may be to generate waves of sympathy and emotional engagement from the public, especially from fans who are known to be deeply sensitive to the mental and emotional conditions of their idols. It is crucial to stress that in today's digital information era, much content is packaged convincingly and presented as if based on real events, when in fact it is nothing more than emotional fiction disguised as journalism. This poses a serious challenge in maintaining information literacy, particularly among K-pop fans who are often easy targets for the spread of clickbait news due to their emotional attachment to their idols. Responsible journalism must always be grounded in data and verification, not speculation and sentimental narratives that cannot be substantiated. In this case, not a single major South Korean media outlet such as Yonhap, Korea Herald, Dispatch, or Sumpy published reports or coverage about Jungkook crying or Taehyung's surprise appearance at the concert. This is a strong indicator that the previously widely spread information on social media and personal blogs is most likely a series of fictional stories dressed as reality. It should be noted that Jungkook, like other BTS members, always carries out concert schedules and official activities with the highest level of professionalism. If there were an emotional moment or heartfelt message he wanted to express, Jungkook would typically share it directly through his personal social media, official bighit platforms, or in verifiable official interviews. In this case, there was no post, statement, or symbol from Jungkook that could be interpreted as a confirmation of him crying backstage. Likewise, Taehyung, who is currently undergoing military service, did not have any registered exit schedule on the day of the concert. The South Korean military strictly regulates exit permits for its personnel, and attending public events such as concerts would require formal approval and documentation. The absence of administrative proof or visual evidence of Taehyung's presence further confirms that the news was not true. IT is important for all fans and news consumers to develop critical thinking skills towards circulating information, especially when it is presented with extreme emotional appeal and dramatic narratives. When a piece of news is too perfect in evoking emotion, with sad plots, emotional climaxes, and touching friendship moments, it is often an early indicator of fictional or unverified news. TO conclude, the previous report describing Jungkook crying after a concert and Taehyung being emotionally moved is not based on real events. There is no visual proof, official documentation, or direct statement that supports the story. This is a clear example of how clickbait narratives can spread and be accepted as fact simply because they are written in an emotional and dramatic style. Moving forward, we urge readers to be more cautious in receiving and sharing information. Ensure that every piece of news involving public figures has clear sources, is verifiable, and does not rely solely on emotion. The South Korean entertainment world, especially the K-pop industry, has too often been the victim of misinformation that harms both the artists and their fans. Media literacy is the key to preventing reputational damage due to irresponsible reporting. As a media outlet, we are also committed to continuously correcting and clarifying any previously delivered information if proven inaccurate. In this case, we extend our apology to readers who may have been emotionally affected by the earlier article. Our commitment is to provide accurate, trustworthy, and non-misleading information. Thank you.